Welcome to HCS Talks. I'm your host, Superintendent Raymond Haynes. This is our Hampton City Schools podcast that we started at the end of August. If it is important to students, parents, teachers, or the community, we hope to cover it on HCS Talks. The goal is to inform, educate, and entertain you. So we hope you will stay tuned and keep listening. Today I'm here with Miss Nicole Lewis, who is Forrest Elementary School's 2023 Teacher of the Year and our 2023-2024 Hampton City Schools Elementary School Teacher of the Year. So thank you for being here, Miss Lewis. If you don't mind, would you please tell the listening audience a little bit about yourself?
Thank you for having me. I'm a Hampton native. I graduated from Kecoughtan High School, attended college at ODU and graduated. Did a lot of my student observing and teaching in Hampton at Armstrong. I live in Hampton with my husband, who's also a Kecoughtan graduate. We're high school sweethearts.
Wow.
Our two daughters, a dog, cat, and backyard chickens. I love to bake. I'm an avid reader, and I actually am in part of a book club that was started my first year teaching, and we all still meet once a month. It's been 15 years, so.
Book club.
Yes.
And you say you have chickens. How many chickens do you have?
We currently only have 2 because of nature, but they're 6 years old, so I feel like that's a pretty good job having them for 6 years and keeping them alive.
Nice. And your husband, you say you met your high school sweetheart, so how long? What, 9th grade, 10th grade here?
We started dating the summer before senior year.
Okay.
Yes, and we've been together ever since.
Did he attend ODU with you as well?
He did, yes.
Very good story. So I know that you are Forrest Elementary School's Teacher of the Year and Hampton City Schools Elementary School Teacher of the Year. So I also understand that you have transitioned to doing in a different position, correct?
Yes. I transferred into the English language learner position. So I'm working with students across grade levels from kindergarten through 5th grade in varying degrees of English that they have. From newcomers that only maybe speak a few words of English to some of those that will hopefully test out when we're done testing this month and be able to be monitor students next year. The L population in Hampton is just growing so exponentially that it really saw that there was a need for those students and felt compelled to work with them. Social emotional learning is going to be a big part with working with all students, but with L's too, it'll help engage them in learning. The department has so much brain power and ideas of what we can do going forth with this growing population, and I'm just really excited to be in that department and be part of those plans.
And I know that you're a welcomed addition to the department, but I'm sure Forrest was sad to see you go as well.
Yes, it was a hard decision, but I felt that it was time, and I do miss my Forrest family a lot. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So are you assigned to a specific school, or how does that work?
I'm working at Barron and Patrick.
Okay.
And I rotate between the 2 schools servicing them.
So you work in collaboration with other L's as well, correct?
Yes, sometimes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then Dr. Lloyd oversees the entire program?
Yes, he does.
All right. So going into the field of education, Ms. Lewis, did you know at some point in time you wanted to work with English language learners as well?
Actually, no. That was a new thing. I only had English language learners for the first time last year, and it was just such an experience I had 4 different students, seeing them grow and come in not being able to speak any English at all, and then leaving the year having conversations and teaching the other kids in the class their native languages was just very special to me and very drawn to them.
So that sparked your interest.
It did, very much, yes.
Very good. So how long have you been in the field of education?
So I've been with Hampton. This is my 15th year. I've taught 5th grade at Cary, 5th and 1st at Bryan, and then I was at Forrest in kindergarten for 11 years. But before that, I've always worked with kids. I did summer camps and preschools. I was a nanny and a babysitter. I think my first babysitting job, I was 12. So I was a kid myself working with kids, but I mean, it's always what I've wanted to be.
So in your family, do you have other educators, or are you the first?
So my stepsister, is actually an L teacher in Richmond, and that's what she's done for, I think I don't know. I don't know how long she's been teaching, but much longer than me. And so I've always been exposed to it and heard her stories, but until I experienced it, it was just kind of like, oh, that's really neat. And then experiencing it yourself and then going to her and being like, I think that's what I want to do.
Yes.
So it was a really bonding experience for us too.
So I'm sure you all share stories and techniques and best practices on a regular basis as well.
We do, yes. I'll frequently message her and be like, hey, what should I do with this?
And I know you said you've always been interested in working with young people and being involved in various capacities throughout your life. So I guess what sort of sparked it in terms of you're going into this field? Why did you go into the field of education?
So I've always wanted to be a teacher. My parents said there was nothing else I ever wanted to be. I remember playing in my room with a chalkboard and my dolls and my stuffed animals and teaching them what I had learned at school that day. And I remember my kindergarten teacher. Talk about relationships.
It's all right. It's all right.
She really had a big impact on me, and I just wanted to be like her.
What school?
I actually went to Gloria Day for elementary school, and then I went to Sims for middle school. But my kindergarten teacher at Gloria Day, and she and I kept in touch throughout. She attended my wedding and my baby showers, so that
stay connected. What's her name?
Miss Leisman.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is she still there?
No, she's been retired for a while now, and she's still living in Hampton. But
and you all stay connected?
It's been a couple years since I've seen her. Since my youngest is 4, so since my last baby shower is the last time I saw her. But
but you never know the impact an educator has, and it can be lifelong as well.
Exactly.
When I tell my story about my experiences, I'm a homegrown Hamptonian as well, and I talk about those teachers that I had at Captain John Smith, one in particular, my third grade teacher, Miss Williams, who made a tremendous impact on my life as well as my siblings as well. So I have to talk quickly about it because I know it will get me sort of kind of choked up because I know all she did for me and the impact that she made on me in my life moving forward in terms of experiences. And not just there, I was blessed with quite a few positively impactful teachers at Captain John Smith and what was in Spratley and even Phoebus High School. So talk about what your favorite thing is about teaching.
The kids, without a doubt, seeing them achieve things and being proud of themselves, it really just is magical to see their excitement.
Right. And then looking at that light bulb turn on as you work on a particular technique or instructional strategy and they finally get it. But I would imagine, Ms. Lewis, years from now, those young people will talk about the impact you've made on them, and you'll probably stay connected and get some wedding invitations and graduation invitations as well. I want to talk a little bit about the work that you have accomplished thus far.
The success with my students would probably be the main one. Trying to build relationships with them and their parents and my coworkers. Moving forward, I'd really like to work more with classroom teachers and what to expect working with ELs. I've been planning with one of my teachers in the department on presenting at Rejuvenate some ideas of what to expect with ELs and just work more with classroom teachers.
Yeah. So are you familiar with the dual language immersion program that we have at Langley?
I do. I don't know much about it, but I am familiar about it. I have heard of it.
Good opportunity for you to go over there and take a look at what they're doing, too. I think it probably will spark some other interest and maybe even ask your sister if they have something similar in Richmond Public Schools, too. I know you mentioned some of your goals. Any additional goals or focuses you have for this school year?
Just figuring out how to help classroom teachers so that they feel more comfortable with including L students.
Nice. So how does it feel to be recognized as the division-wide elementary school teacher of the year?
So I was honored to be named the Forrest Teacher of the Year, and then very surprised at the dinner when I was named a finalist, but then to be named elementary, I was shocked and not expecting it. I know there's just so many teachers that deserve to be recognized and to be picked.
But you deserve it too. You don't sell yourself short. You deserve it too, and your colleagues and the division recognize the impact that you've made in the classroom and on young people as a whole. So you should be proud of that, and it is well deserved.
Thank you.
So, in looking at that, I guess how would you look at moving forward? What advice would you give to even aspiring teachers or folks who are novice teachers coming into the profession?
So there's two things to remember. One, you have to take care of yourself. Education is a very rewarding job, but it can be stressful and draining. So you have to make sure that there's that balance. And if you don't take care of yourself, you won't be able to take care of those around you. And the second piece is the relationship piece with the kids, the families, and the coworkers. And as I have shown, they can be a lifelong commitment to have that relationship.
If you think about it, too, you were mentioning your kindergarten teacher at Gloria Day, and you probably had more who made a positive impact on you. But I think the recurring theme with that, when I think about all the educators who've had an impact on me, many of whom I still talk to on a regular basis, is because of the relationship that they had and their belief in that I could do whatever I wanted to do or aspired to do. So
yes, exactly.
I can't say enough about us being in this profession and the having those connections and establishing relationships. And it has been said time and time again: no significant learning will take place without a significant relationship.
Exactly.
You say you have a daughter.
Yes, I have two daughters.
Two daughters.
Yes.
What are their ages?
Margaret is 11. She goes to Jones, and she was actually Citizen of the Month for March. I had to put that little plug in. We're very proud of her.
Congratulations,
Thank
Margaret.
you. And Penny is 4. She's in preschool, but she'll start at Langley, kindergarten at Langley in the fall.
All right, 4 and 11.
Yes.
How do they get along?
They're siblings. The younger one wants to be like the older one, and the older one wants to be a preteen that's left alone. But overall, they get along decently, and the older Margaret will
typical
try to help and take care of when Penny will allow her to.
Now, is your husband an educator too?
No, he is not. Well, he did teach for 1 year at Hampton. It was just 1 year, and then he works for a contract company for NASA.
Okay. Very good. So what things do you like to do outside of teaching? I know you say you have chickens. And are there other things that you like to do outside of teaching?
I like to bake. I actually started using a sourdough starter a couple months ago, so that's kind of overtaken any free time at home.
Now, what are you good at baking? Sometimes people say, I like to do these things, and then it's just something I like to do versus something I'm really good at.
I have been told I am. I don't always like what I bake, but it never stays in the house. And if I take it to other places, it's always gone. I don't have anything to bring home with me. So I guess other people like it too.
So do you have a specialty? Something that you're rather famous for in your close-knit family and friend circle?
Cookies. Chocolate chip cookies would probably be the number one.
Is it homemade? So you do the flour and it's homemade?
Homemade cookies, yes.
All right. Chocolate chip cookies. Baking, what about cooking as a whole?
My husband does that.
So he's good at that.
He's the chef and I'm the baker, yes.
That's a great combination, though. Great combination. So you graduated from Kecoughtan.
Yes.
And we're actually here doing this podcast here at Kecoughtan. How does it feel to come back into your alma mater?
Well, we're in the science wing, so it's not quite the same. I haven't been here yet. This is a beautiful wing. I'm excited that if my daughter chooses an academy here, that she'll be able to use the science wing. And I may have to walk through the main building when I'm done.
Very
nice.
See it.
I'm
sure they would welcome you taking a tour up in this very nice science wing as well. Do you know if she's interested in a particular academy? Has she expressed an interest? I know it's a little ways off, but sometimes they tell you well in advance what they think they want to do.
She really likes science, so possibly STEM, but she's also very much into fine arts. She's a dancer. She's in theater club at school, so it could go either way. And I know Kecoughtan has both those academies.
Yes, yes. So she has a lot to choose from, and then the more exposure, especially as they get into 8th grade and do that career exploration and I guess, get more involved or immersed in what the offerings are throughout the high schools that will probably further spark her interest in other areas as well. Is she involved in like Academy of Dance or anything outside in the community in terms of dance?
She goes to PAC, Performing Art Connection. She does ballet and musical theater. And my youngest, Penny, does dance as well there.
Did you?
I did not. No, I don't have rhythm. They got that from their dad. I got my rhythm from my dad. They got it from their dad. They got lucky.
Very good. And you know we have here at Kecoughtan the Academy of Teaching, Education, and Learning. Have you been involved in that in any way, shape, or form?
I have not, no.
Oftentimes we try to get teachers, especially at the elementary level, to at least being more involved in that and sort of kind of take on the mentoring aspect and working with young people who are in that academy who are aspiring to hopefully become educators, and sort of like a pipeline for us to grow and build our own to ensure that, you know, after they leave Kecoughtan in this academy, that they'll go on to college and come back to us like you did.
Yes.
Like you did. So we have to somehow get you connected with that. And I know Mr. Crawford is the academy principal here for the Academy of Teaching, Education, and Learning, which is different from when you were in school and when I was in school as well. So all young people are in a particular academy. Are you familiar with the academy model?
A little bit, yes.
Right.
Yes.
So you will be once Margaret gets into 8th grade and start thinking about decisions in regards to what particular academy she wants to be a part of. Any other advice or anything else you'd like to share with the listening audience at this point?
Build those relationships.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the number one thing.
Yes, ma'am. So I certainly thank you for choosing to come back to Hampton City Schools to make a positive impact in the lives of young people. Your work at Forrest, I know you've left a lasting legacy there, and as well as your time at what was then Cary, which is now Mary T. Christian and Bryan Elementary School, and in your role as an L and working in the English Language Learner Department and World Languages under Dr. Andrew Lloyd. So we thank you, Ms. Lewis, for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you for all the hard work you do each and every day to support our young people.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And the core business of teaching and learning. So, and to our listeners, remember, education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. As one community, one transformation, we will ensure academic excellence for every child, every day, whatever it takes. Until next time.
Listen to learn more about Hampton City Schools. New episodes of HCS Talks drop on Thursdays. Subscribe and listen to HCS Talks. HCS Talks is a Hampton City Schools production.